Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and has it been long enough? Do you even remember that there was an AHL season that happened? There was, and the IceHogs did not do very well, so I'm here to talk about one series in particular because the Chicago Wolves were Illinois Lottery champs and Central Division champs. So here you go, Wolvesies, I'm wearing your shirt. Yes, I do feel disgusting. And yes, that's part of the reason I put this video off for so long. But the time has come, so let's just talk about it. Before I talk about the series that the Rockford IceHogs had against the Chicago Wolves all season long, I'm here to give the Wolves some credit where credit is due, so let's talk about some of their stats for the year. The Chicago Wolves played 33 games during the 2020-21 AHL season. Their record was a ridiculous 21-9-1-2. They had 132 goals for, while only allowing 94 goals against, and my friends, that is a plus 38 goal differential. No, we're not going to talk about the goal differential for the IceHogs in this video. Don't make me think about it. How about some special teams? The Chicago Wolves penalty kill ended at an 83.2%. They only allowed 23 goals out of a total of 137 times shorthanded. That puts them in first place. They also scored 7 shorthanded goals of their own. Their power play was not in first place though, so we can take that away from them. But they did end up in second place with a 24.8%. And all of this coming in the first season where they had Ryan Warsofsky as their coach. And the first season of them being affiliated with the Carolina Hurricanes, and also sort of the Nashville Predators. The Milwaukee Admirals will be back for next season. Thankfully, no more two-headed monster. But anyway, here's their top 5 scorers for the season. Number 1, Phil Tomasino, and he's a Predators prospect, so they're losing him next year. Sorry, Wolvesies. In 29 games, he scored 13 goals. He also added 19 assists for a total of 32 points. Next up, Tommy Novak. Through 27 games, he scored 8 goals, and he added 24 assists for a total of 32 points. Number 3, David Cotton, one of the Cotton brothers. In 26 games, he scored 14 goals, and he added 7 assists for a total of 21 points. Number 4, and maybe my least favorite player on the Chicago Wolves this season, and it sucked having to watch him play in the playoffs for the Predators as well, we have Tanner Jeannot. Through only 13 games, he scored 10 goals, and he added 11 assists for 21 points, and I'm pretty sure that a majority of those points came against the Rockford IceHogs. I don't feel like looking and adding it all up, but I'm just pretty sure that that's the case. And rounding out their top 5, we have Max Lajoie. In 27 games, he scored 6 goals and 15 assists for 21 points. And now for the goaltenders. Do you have about an hour? Because they used a lot of them. I'm just gonna go in order of how many games they played here. Up first, we have Beck Warm. He played 14 games for the Wolves this season. He had an 8-4-1 record. He had a .914 save percentage and a 2.74 goals against average. Up next, Antoine Bibeau. He played 8 games for the Wolves and had a record of 5-2-1. He had a .912 save percentage and a 2.00 goals against average. Number 3, Connor Ingram. He played 5 goals for the Wolvesies and had a losing record of 1-3-1. Sorry, no I'm not. He had an .899 save percentage and a 3.48 goals against average. Number 4, we have Jeremy Helvig. He played 4 games for the Chicago Wolves and definitely did not have a losing record because his record was 4-0. He had a .920 save percentage and a 2.50 goals against average. Not too bad. Unfortunately, I think some of those wins came against the IceHogs as well. It's a theme with this Wolves team. Up next, Devin Cooley. That's right, they have a goaltender named Warm and a goaltender named Cooley. Can they decide if they want to be warm or cold? He played 2 games for the Wolves and had a record of 2-0. He had an .895 save percentage and a 3.00 goals against average. And last but not least, Peter Mrazek. He was sent down to the Wolves on a conditioning stint from the Carolina Hurricanes. He played 1 game for the Wolvesies, and his record was 1-0. He had a .956 save percentage and a 2.00 goals against average. I'm glad that that game wasn't against the IceHogs, although I'm kind of surprised it wasn't, since we play each other so many times. It's always the Wolves. Day in and day out, the IceHogs are facing the Chicago Wolves. You haunt me, Wolvesies. Anyway, shall we talk about the series between my Rockford IceHogs and the Central Division champs, the Chicago Wolves? They played each other 11 times, and the IceHogs' record against these Wolves was 3-8-0-0. Didn't go very well for my piggies. But there is one spot where we did beat the Wolves. The Rockford IceHogs had 2 shorthanded goals against the Wolves, while the Wolves only had 1 against the IceHogs. Sucks to suck, Wolvesies. Just let me have it. But I've got some more stats anyway. When it comes to shots on goal, through the whole series, the IceHogs took 317 shots on the Wolves goaltenders. The Wolves took 362 on the Rockford goaltenders. That would give the Wolves a +45 shot differential against the IceHogs throughout 11 games. And then we have the power play. The Rockford IceHogs were gifted 43 power plays in this series. They scored on 8 of them. That's an 18.6 conversion rate, not good. Meanwhile, the Wolves were gifted 37 power plays by the Rockford IceHogs, and they scored on 10 of them. That's a 27% conversion rate. Much better than 18. But we still scored more shorthanded goals than you in this series. Now, when it comes to goals, you would think it wouldn't be as close as it ended up being. Throughout 11 games, the Rockford IceHogs scored 35 goals on the Wolves goaltenders. And maybe an empty net here or there, I can't remember. But the Chicago Wolves scored 44 on the Rockford net. That gives them a +9 goal differential through 11 games. And that, my friends, is how they won the Illinois Lottery Cup. But there were some cool things that happened in this series for the Hogs, so let's just go by it game by game. I'll tell you the score of each of them, even though it hurts. Game number 1 between these two clubs was on February 6th. The Rockford IceHogs were supposed to open up the series against the Cleveland Monsters. Cleveland had some COVID issues, so in swoops the Chicago Wolves, and they say, you want to play 2 games against each other that weren't on the schedule? Because again, they always have to play each other. That wasn't the only random game added to the schedule. I'm pretty sure there was another one. I think they were only supposed to play each other 8 times and ended up with 11. Anywho, February 6th, the Chicago Wolves won 5-4. It was so close. But Chad Yetman scored his first professional goal, Wyatt Kalnick scored his first professional goal, and Mate Halupa scored his first AHL goal. So again, bad outcome, but some good things happened. The next game was February 9th. The Chicago Wolves won 5-2, but DJ Bustecker got his first professional goal. Chris Wilkie got his first professional goal, a short-handed goal. But the IceHogs went 1 for 9 on the power play in that game. How do you go 1 for 9? Anywho, their next game was on February 16th. The Chicago Wolves won 3-2, but Isaac Phillips scored his first professional goal, and that was the end of the good news for that game. Next up, they went over a month without playing each other, and this game was March 27th, and there was absolutely no good news from this one. The Chicago Wolves won 6-3. The very next day, they played each other again. Tell me if you've heard this before. The Chicago Wolves won this time. It was 5-4, but Josiah Slavin, fresh out of college, scored his first professional goal. The next game was April 3rd. Again, tell me if you've heard this before. The Chicago Wolves won, this time 4-2, but Josiah Slavin scored his second professional goal. And finally, on April 7th, the Rockford IceHogs beat the Chicago Wolves. They won by a score of 4-3, and Brandon Peary got a hat trick, because that's just what he does against his former teams. We got very used to seeing it against the IceHogs when he was playing with said Chicago Wolves. And yes, that's right, it took them 7 tries to beat the Wolves this season, but they did it. That's all that matters. In the next game against the Wolves on April 17th, the Rockford IceHogs won 4-3. That's right, 2 in a row against the Chicago Wolves. But then they played on May 10th, and Chicago Wolves won 6-5. But Anton Lindholm got his first goal as a Rockford IceHog. And then came the final 2 games of the season. May 14th, The Rockford IceHogs beat the Chicago Wolves 4-1. It's so beautiful. I could almost cry, but I mostly cry because of how many times we lost to the Wolves this season. And the very last game of the season, May 15th, the Chicago Wolves won 3-1. But that one goal was Cole Moberg's first professional goal. So clearly it was not a very good season series for the IceHogs against their biggest rival, their in-state rival, their I-90 rival, the Chicago Wolves. But some good things happened in the series as well. We'll have to see how the series goes next season. Of course, the Wolves are losing about half of their team to the Milwaukee Admirals. So now we have two teams just kind of surrounding us that have these great players on it. But the IceHogs have some really good players themselves, and I think some of them will be in their second professional seasons and will play even better than we saw in their first. So maybe it'll be a little more competitive. As I like to say here, we shall see. But that is the end of this one. I am done giving the Chicago Wolves credit. I'm going to take this shirt off and like throw it in a corner or something. I would burn it, but it's actually pretty soft. Anyway, it's always a fun rivalry between the IceHogs and the Wolves. I love giving them crap just because they're just right down the street, down I-90. And what is more fun in sports, besides winning a championship, than a healthy rivalry? So congratulations, Chicago Wolves, on your Central Division title and Illinois Lottery Cup, I guess. We will see y'all next season. But if you would like to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can head on over to FromCenterIce.com. You can find links to all the places where you can find us, and there's been a lot more written content lately with news coming out of the Blackhawks and IceHogs organization, especially around some player signings. If you're more of a social media person, you can find the links to all of those platforms down in the description. All of that said, thank you so much for tuning in. It feels great talking about my IceHogs again. Coming up, there will be a full season wrap-up for the IceHogs and for the Blackhawks as well. Been a bit distracted with the playoffs going on, but I'm back. I'm going to be talking about these teams. I'm going to be back in red once I can take this terrible shirt off and wear a Hogs jersey once again. So, my friends, I will catch you all in the next video. Bye, guys. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that subscribe button to catch more From Center Ice content. If you could, hit the like button on this video, maybe share it with a friend or two. And while you're here, check out the podcast playlist and catch up on some old episodes. We will catch y'all next time. Bye!